This week we're talking about the digital version of an old physical tabletop game that's being released, as well as some contests that are board game related that you can get involved in.
And our topic of the week, background music. Does it help out the game, or is it just static noise? I'm Will Keeler.
I'm Jonathan Estes, and this is Roll for Crit Podcast.
So, as you've probably been paying attention to many of the new games coming out, Doomtown Reloaded has come out, and a lot of people are excited about it. It's a great new deck building game. And the new Saddleback, which is the small expansion, is due to come out within the next coming months. And of course, what this means is you're going to want to learn how to build your deck and customize it, which is a pain if you want to build multiple decks, take cards in and out. Luckily, they actually it's not their own site, but other sites have made a Doomtown database, which is actually a site where you can compile deck lists, look at other people's deck lists. So you can not only maybe make lists of your decks, so you already know what your decks will have in them, but you can also maybe try them out, look at the ratios of the hearts, the diamonds, the clubs, see what works or not. To me, this is a really great sign that that Doomtown's gonna really, get hit out the gate running. Because like Magic the Gathering, one of my things that I really like is I use a digital version to build my my EDH decks, because that's 100 cards. It's a lot to go through. But with this, when I'm building it online, I can see my cards there. People can comment, give me suggestions. Also, I can see the mana ratios, so I can see like that ratio is not what I want. And I think that's really important in Doomtown, since you're drawing hands with card symbols. So I think this is amazing, great start.
Plus, you got to keep in mind the suits and everything.
No, that's exactly. That's what I was talking about. Like suits, the numbers, like seeing those ratios, so you can see like, okay, I have way too many hearts of ace of hearts or something. So I'm really excited about that. I'm actually probably going to use it myself soon. As soon as we actually get to more of the nitty gritty of the deck building, I'm still trying to feel out what I feel about
getting
each
our feet
group.
wet.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that's great is that AEG actually is really into it. They promoted it on their site. They're telling people about it. They're really, I think, handling every aspect of Doomtown really well in terms of their presence with the community.
I couldn't agree more. I think AEG is really hitting its stride with this. I mean, the contest, the sheriff badges, the promoting of other people to online deck building, the way the box works out and how it fits a lot in the base deck, even though this is probably one where you get your own box. I just think this is definitely one game. If you like card games, especially if you've been used to collectible games and you really want to try the living card game because you're sick of just opening packs and using the money hole, I really think Doomtown is the place to go right now.
It's a great, and it's because it's just getting started, so you can really jump in now and not feel overwhelmed. It's a perfect time.
And once again, what's really nice also having this deck building game, all the Saddlebacks have the full play set. You need 2 of the base set, which sounds annoying, but compared to other living card games, is pretty nice.
Yeah. You don't need 2 of the base set.
No, to get a full play set.
If you really want to
some cards.
Get into the building and stuff.
But I mean, you can actually make a digital online and really see whether it helps getting those extra 2 cards or not.
Yeah, oh yeah. Plus, other people put their decks up, so you can look at those and get ideas or use them if you want.
So overall, I definitely think. Well, first of all, we think you should be looking into Doomtown if you like card games and deck building at all. Second, if you are already into it or planning to, we really suggest taking out the Doomtown database. It's really
a must use, I think, if you're.
It's not a must, but it's going to be just really nice.
So that is really awesome, and we're fans of that. Something else that's coming out this week, a different card game, not a living card game, is Sentinels of the Multiverse. If you're not familiar, that is the cooperative superhero game that's been out for a while. Well, they are finally releasing the Thursday of this week, after this episode comes out, the digital version of Sentinels of the Multiverse for all your digital devices. So it should be a lot of fun. They just put out a trailer. It's going to feature 10 heroes and 4 villains, 4 environments, which I believe are the ones from the base set, and I assume expansions will come to follow. I just think it was really nice. They have the environments and all the cards give you special backgrounds as you play, and which hero you're using has a different background. So the art is very consistent with the theme.
I think another thing I really like, it's not just pictures from the cards and you're like seeing a move. Like it's not like you can like a digital version where you just see the cards moving around. They actually have the models of the heroes standing and like
and there's some
posing.
Every like your options all have like comic book style looks to it, which is a nice touch. And
good music.
Yeah, the music sounds cool. And this is a game, I don't know if I've mentioned on the show before, but I know I've thought that this is a game in real life that has a lot of, you have to add up, you have to keep track of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So for a digital version, I think it will be very nice at times to be able to just let the game handle that for you. So that should be cool, but you know, if you haven't tried Sentinels, it'd be a good way to try it out when it comes out. I don't know the price yet. I don't know if they announced that, but the physical game is really fun that we like, so you can check that out as well.
Yeah, it looked like a really sweet digital version from what I've seen so far. Maybe we'll get our hands to try it on soon, and we'll tell you what we think of it.
We'll let you know. Yeah.
Well, as we mentioned before, there are some contests you can join, and one of them is for Munchkin. Yes, the card game which we all know and love. If you've played it a lot, you've probably seen someone do this to you. Maybe you've done it yourself. People will throw in maybe a bookmark or a T-shirt, which somehow gives them an edge in the battle. Munchkin is now holding a contest to make a new T-shirt, which I assume also means new rules with that shirt. If you win, you can win up to $1,000, which is pretty sweet. And of course, if you also get to make the rules, then you can come up with some really hilarious rules with it.
And it's with the company We Love Fine, right?
Yeah. If you don't know of them, they pretty much cover nerdy T-shirt and appliances. I've probably worn half of their shirts for this show.
Yeah, I use their bag. They're pretty good.
It's a good company, but and a good contest. I'd love to see some of the finalists, and hopefully, I hope it's more than design. I hope they can make the rules as well.
I mean, that's almost a given.
Yeah. Like,
everything in Munchkin has
Can you think of some of the rules you'd want to put on with a T-shirt?
Yeah, if I'm wearing this shirt, I win. maybe that's a little unfair. Or like a special race that you just have to wear the shirt to be that race. And if you lose the race, you have to take your shirt off. Might be going too far. But I'm sure.
I think a good one would be where you can wear the shirt, but if someone finds it, can prove whether it's a stain or something that you've worn it and haven't washed it yet again, you lose the game.
You have to put a sweatshirt over it. Yeah, but yeah, that's cool. So if you're a creative type.
Yeah, definitely something to look forward to.
Also in the world of contests, you might be aware that McDonald's, that's a restaurant, has brought back the beloved Monopoly contest thing that they do about every year or so and around different times.
They've been doing this for a long time. I remember it was like, I forgot the name of the Disney movie. Was it Dinosaurs, was it called?
That was Dinosaur.
The one with the talking and the monkey. Yeah, it was Dinosaur. They mixed the Monopoly with that. I remember I was getting the pieces. I was like, but I remember part of me was just like, I want to build the Ankylosaurus. It wasn't even about the reprise.
I remember that movie.
But I came very close to winning stuff then.
Yeah, so if you don't know how it works, basically when you buy some food, there's little stickers, right? You peel off.
You peel them off, and they match to pieces on the game board. Like there's two for, there's like the obvious ones, Park Place and the Boardwalk. But there's one for the other ones, and each color gives a reward. I don't happen to know what the rewards are now, but there's usually like one will probably be TV, one's going to be a car, of course, the big one is always a large pool of money.
I think it's $1 million.
Yes, in this case.
And we posted an article this week that actually went into the odds of winning that $1 million.
What are the odds?
Well, to do so, you need to get both Boardwalk and Park Place.
All right.
Those are the two rarest ones.
Of course.
The odds were something in the billions.
Well, no, isn't it like Park Place was 1 in 11?
Right.
But
the other one was like something in like 3.5 million.
The Boardwalk was huge. So to get both of them.
Yeah.
So if you happen to get Boardwalk, you're doing pretty. You hit the jackpot.
But the odds of winning anything, they said, are 1 in 4.
Right. So because the smaller ones.
You always get like a free drink or something, which is kind of nice.
Hey, maybe if you happen to get 2 of the reds, just find someone who has the last one and trade.
Yeah. We should start an app for like social networking to connect people to Monopoly prizes. Anyway, go eat some McDonald's. It's good for you, and learn about board games while you're there. It's kind of cool that they keep doing this. I want to see Let's see him graduate.
Do we want to see the next one's like, Catan, all right, I got 3 sheep, yeah!
Well, I think Burger King should combat them, and yeah, they should do Catan, and then someone can come in. Well, totally wrong. KFC will just do like Arkham Horror, so it won't make sense.
Oh, God. Now, if you can seal every portal from all the KFCs across the country.
There's a tentacle in my chicken, I don't know.
To seal it, you need to eat 10 double chicken.
Anyway, that's fun. Go eat some McDonald's, America. That's all the news that we have for you this week. We do have, however, some Kickstarter picks in our Kickstarter Pickstarter. The game I'm going to talk about this week is Private Die from Mystic Ape Games. This is a fairly simple dice filler style game set in the theme of detectives in the noir style.
If you haven't guessed, we often tend to like those. The
Have they guessed? I don't know. That's one of those themes that I would like to see a lot more of in board games. One of my something I really enjoy that we like.
I feel like anytime we always support anything that's noir.
Probably we do. Well, basically how the game works is you're a bunch of detectives and you're trying to get clues. And every round, a witness comes up and you roll the witness die. So whatever the number is, I think it's a 20-sided die. Everyone's goal is to, on their turn, roll a certain number of dice, and you want to get the witness number as close to it as possible without going over. So like
I believe it was actually a 12-sided die.
Oh, is it 12?
I think it was 12.
Because I know one of the results is 18.
Oh, so, I have no idea then.
So, well, you might be right, but the numbers aren't 1 through 12. Anyway, I think you're actually right. But yeah. So, and what makes it a little more interesting also is each of the witnesses has different abilities that might make it harder, so like limit your dice rolls, and you each have detectives with different roles and different abilities themselves. So there's a little more to it than just rolling the dice. You have a little bit of that thematic stuff.
So you're trying to score witnesses? Is that pretty much the
point
of the game?
Yes, whoever gets closest without going over gets the witness, and they get a clue, and whoever gets 15 clues wins.
Okay. So it's not like there's a traitor or something?
No.
Or at least not yet.
You're trying to solve the case. Yeah, maybe the expansion. But I think it's worth mentioning just for the name Private Die.
So what are the pledge levels, you know?
Right. So if you want to back it, the base game will be $19. If you go over that, you can keep getting extra cards and stuff based on stretch goals.
Exclusives and whatnot.
Right. If you just want to get the PDF, that will only cost you $5.
Pretty sweet deal if you already have the die, whatever die there.
Yeah, super easy.
As soon as we find out what we were talking about.
Yeah, and if you just want to have a little fun, if you spend $1, or you can get this as an add-on.
Yes.
The team behind the game will give you a banana toast on film, in which I believe that means they will toast bananas and eat them in your honor.
Or maybe, like we were saying, maybe banana bread toast.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the hot new thing this year.
That is.
Toasted banana bread. So that's Private Die. It seems like a pretty fun
game. Good price.
Yeah.
Hilarious $1 backing.
Light,
yeah. Good place to start looking. Well, mine is Kickstarter Pickstarter is Lanterns: The Harvest Festival. In this game, you're trying to score points for your house, the honor of making them beautiful lantern designs. The way that works is you're going to be placing these tiles down, 4-sided squares, and they're going to have a pattern of lanterns floating in the water on them. And depending on where you lay it down and how you point it, it has to touch its own color, the side, so purple lanterns have to touch purple lanterns. And then the other sides, whatever they're pointing to, those players get a lantern token of that color. So let's say I had a center, I put a purple lantern here. And so these two purples are touching. Red is going, there's red lanterns that way, yellow this way, and green this way. So the person over here would get a green, would get a red, get a yellow, and then when you get hands, like I think it's 3 of a kind they mentioned, or 1 of every color. I think there's 6 colors, so don't think it's that easy. You actually get to gain hand in for points. So it's sort of this, how do I place this tile to give myself the advantage without giving it to my opponent?
So you're all working within the same, you don't have your individuals.
Yeah. It's one big board, or the tiles you place in the center. So it's this really fun game of placing tiles, of how do I give myself the better advantage of colors in this? Do I give myself this color? Because then I'm giving maybe my opponent's the color he needs. So a really fun way to, and you can't just like, I'm going to give him 1 of each color because that's actually good for him. So maybe I will give him another orange now or something.
We've really been liking these games that are these like tile laying, where like Among the Stars or Suburbia, where it matters the position of things. I think that's a really interesting strategy kind of thing to make you think about that. And with the addition of having to worry about other people's input, I think that's cool.
One reason I like this, the style, it's very simple. It reminds me of Hanabi in the sense of the coloring.
Yeah.
And probably thematic to it, which I do love. We both think that's a very great game. This one isn't blind though.
Right.
The base game itself is $24, which I think is pretty good for this game. It looks really great detail and artwork on all the pieces and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a great game I think to look forward to. And once again, that's pretty much it. That's what's great about it. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
It's like
it looked like a very
it's just colors matching lanterns, but it still has that nice strategical play, like you were saying, like of laying down the tiles. So it has the simple yet complex fun that you just want from a game.
I feel like we tend to go on the lighter side for our Kickstarters usually.
Really?
Maybe no.
Well, actually, speaking of light games, a while ago, I think it was September 9th, if I recall.
I believe so.
I mentioned my Kickstarter Pickstarter was Dragon Tides, in which it was a fighting game, kung fu game. They actually canceled the Kickstarter, and just this last week, so you'll be seeing this will be the week before this episode aired, they restarted their Kickstarter with lower pledge levels, which is really awesome. And I, once again, backed it. So I guess that's my second sort of Kickstarter Pickstarter. You've noticed I have a trend of picking Kickstarters that later cancel then reboot themselves.
Yeah, you know, I don't know, you should maybe get into betting or something, because you have an eye for
an eye for the ones that stop.
Yeah, you got something.
But that's it for Kickstarter Pickstarters.
So yeah, check those out.
Which means that's our topic of the week. So, if you've been having a lot of game nights with your friends, you maybe sometimes someone put on, music in the background. Probably a CD they have, maybe, I don't know, radio, just playing random music of what they like. But maybe you thought, well, since I'm playing Arkham Horror or a zombie game, maybe I should actually put on music that matches the game. So some games already include a music CD, Flying Frog in particular, is the company I think that does that. But there are also Kickstarters, mini Kickstarters to make soundtracks for certain base games, like for zombie games, like Cthulhu-based Lovecraft games, futuristic in space games, so on and so forth. So I guess what we're hearing about, is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What are your thoughts on it?
It's a great thing.
Great thing?
Yeah. Well, the first time that I saw it, like you said, was Flying Frogs Last Night on Earth. And it's definitely, first of all, I think it's just it makes it feel a little cooler to open the game and see a CD in there. It makes it feel like you're getting more for your buck.
For those who don't know, a CD is a round disc that can contain information, not as much in an SD card or your newfangled smartphones.
That's another thing, is that a lot of them also put the MP3s online, which is nice. If you don't have a CD player, which some people don't these days. Or laptop, of course. But yeah, so I love that. I think it really adds to it. I tend to, when playing games, if there's music in the background, like it lower, because I tend to get distracted by it, or people end up yelling at each other.
We should note we're specifically talking about music that the game doesn't hinge on. We're not Space Alert, we're not talking about Zombie 15, we're not talking about Escape, where literally you can't play the game without the soundtrack.
Right. At least not right now. We could talk about those.
Right. No, I mean right now. That's what we're talking about.
Yes. What I'm referring to is when it's the more ambient kind of background noise. Especially if it's not, like you said, a thematic thing. But also sometimes it's just nice to look up to make your own kind of playlists. Like I know when we played, I forget what we were playing, but it was some kind of space game. We were playing Escape from Aliens in Outer Space, which is a creepy alien game that we don't sell, but yet. But we put on the Alien soundtrack, or we went to Pandora and just typed in the Alien score, which is, I think, a great resource, or Pandora or Spotify, to just be able to do that. But talking about Zombie 15, but I think it also applies to the other style of music. But if you watched our Zombie 15 playback episode, which went last week, you notice it is on a timer, which is part of it. But towards the end of the game, we our voices get faster and our actions get more tense, and I think that's 90% because of the music. Because as the game goes on, it gets faster and it gets louder.
Well, I think because we also know it's coming to an end.
Right, but even knowing though, it's that urgency is always
no,
in
the
your
tempo
mind.
increases. You hear it in the music.
So I think that music can really add to the experience of a game if done well.
Yeah, and I think this could work really well with maybe games that don't have music but have maybe a digital front. For example, we've mentioned a lot XCOM. With being a game that has both the digital and the physical. What if it had a way to track when you knew people were in a dangerous situation? Like maybe a lot of things are hitting the field, and all of a sudden you'd hear this strange music come on.
That's a good idea.
Like it would slow down. Maybe you say you killed everything, but then come back. Like imagine playing Arkham. Like if there's maybe one or two gates, you hear like da na na, but all of a sudden so a lot more gates are open. It's like da na 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 da 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 da.
It's actually triggered to what's happening in the game. Yeah, that's a really cool idea.
But when games actually rely on the music, we'll say, like we said earlier, Space Layer Escape, Zombie 15. These games are a lot of fun because usually with them it's a lot more. It's not you don't get the analysis paralysis as much. Because of the music, I feel, because usually it's timed. So then you're like, I gotta do this, gotta run, and of course maybe two people try to take the elevator.
Anything that keeps things moving is a plus.
Yeah, and I think that's a great thing that what music brings to those games.
Is there any kind of game that you would think steer clear of for music? Maybe, I don't know, not theme-wise, I suppose, but mechanics-wise, or I guess a long, thinky game, you might not want to have something. I guess that is another problem. Is go ahead.
I would only say for a really abstract, advanced games. Like if you're playing, I'm thinking chess, those classic thinking games. Like if you're playing, I don't know, Blockus or something, just I was just thinking I wouldn't play that. I'm like, I'd actually probably want to play Mario music, just dun 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 da 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 da.
Wait, what?
It's because it's colorful and stuff. I'm not thinking just.
I was gonna say if it's it's a real puzzly game.
Oh, Tetris.
Or I was gonna say Professor Layton. Background music, just do 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 do. That's Tetris, but but yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah. It's really. I guess it depends on your personal state of mind if you can. Like I said, later.
We have someone in our group who literally listens to no music. His favorite song is just the auto, just one note,
He just likes tones.
Yes.
It's very, very strange. But I guess there's not much more to say about the subject. It's something I'd just like to see. It's always fun when a company does it. I'd love to see more people do it.
Do you know any company besides Flying Frog?
Well, I don't know about regularly, but I know, this is another timed one, but the upcoming Bomb Squad is going to have a soundtrack. I know a bunch of games, I'm not sure if it's Ultimate Werewolf or something similar to that, I think had as a stretch goal maybe, or as an option, they have music that people make. A lot of Kickstarters seem to, as stretch goals, have music.
If you could choose one game to add music, official soundtrack music to, what game would it be?
For some reason, I just thought of Settlers of Catan. I don't know. I just want to know what that would be. It'd be like square dance music or something. Out in the barn out in the countryside.
But is that the game you?
No, that's not the game. But I'd have to think. Any scary game is pretty. I feel like that's obvious. You could just find creepy music. I was trying to think of something that would be a little less obvious. Suburbia, you could play like suburban white kid rock music. A superhero game like Legendary or DC to have they could.
But what is the one game you keep playing?
I can't think of one. Okay, what's your one game?
Arkham Horror.
Okay.
I think it's a long game. The music in the background would really be nice, and maybe a special trumpet if someone's playing with the I forget the name of the character who plays the trumpet and starts the trumpet item.
The musician you mean?
Yeah,
I don't remember his name, Jim or something.
Yeah.
yeah. Any game with what you said, where it's actually relates to what you're doing.
Well, no, that would be very hard. You need a digital component.
Yeah, you really need to.
If you could, it would be awesome.
Anyway, we really like the idea of music in games.
If you think some games should get music, or maybe you have actually written some music or collected a list of music for a game, let us know. We'd love to hear it. Literally, we'd love to hear it. And of course, you can reach us by commenting in the section on the comments on this video, or you can subscribe to this video. But you can also reach us if you want to do maybe a little shorter through Twitter at Roll4Crit, and of course our personal Twitters at Dorkiryu.
Mine is at Quentz. Also, there's at Ivan Arhan and at Foamy89. You can follow the whole team. But if Twitter's too short for you, you can also go to our email. Our email address is roll4crit@gmail.com. If there's anything you want to suggest for a topic of the week, feedback, what have you, anything, please let us know.
And of course, if you maybe want to check out some of the, like we said, Flying Frog games and other games that might need music, there's our site where we'll have even more news posted, as well as games we sell and all the list of all our videos. So
it's really the best site in the world. What is it again?
It is roll4crit.com. It's a perfect resource for all your board game needs.
Definitely. And keep checking out our Halloween videos every week, too. Zombie 15 came out last week. We'll do the teaser for this week. Will probably be ghost stories. So keep peeled. And we almost forgot to mention.
Don't blink.
We almost forgot to mention that right as we record this, it either just is happening. It's right around this time. I forget. Spiel is taking place up in Essen in Germany, one of the biggest board game conventions in the world.
Isn't it the biggest?
Well, it depends on who you talk to. These days, Gen Con versus Spiel is actually pretty close. Depends on the criteria you're using. And around us, New York Comic Con is also took place this last weekend while you're watching this. So lots of big conventions. We're going to be talking about those next week. I'm sure there's going to be tons of cool games to talk about. So, and if you're going, let us know and take some pictures or something for us.
Well, I mean, if Comic-Con already have happened.
Well, if you're going, if you went, let us know. We're time travelers. Sometimes I forget.
Hey, post it if you see one of us and have a photo of us. Post it. We'd love to see how you stalked us to the convention.
Some selfies, Roll4Crit, maybe not. We should probably stop right now.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for now.
That's gonna do it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have fun all week, every week, playing board games. My name is Jonathan Estes.
I'm Will Keeler, and this has been the Roll4Crit podcast.